And good evening from the launch pad. Tonight, it's the Titusville Rockets hosting the Cochranton Cardinals. Luke Rio along with Mr. Phil Knapp. Good to see you, and welcome back to another year of wrestling.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on again. It should be a fun night. Some pretty good matches here.
Looking forward to this matchup. You've got Titusville and you've got Cochranton. I want to ask you, these two teams played football back in the fall. A very tight, tough football game. How much of that rolls into, because you have players who played on that team on the Rockets and the Cardinals side, how much of that rolls into tonight's match?
I don't think a ton of it. You know, they're two totally different sports, but obviously we have had a pretty healthy competitive year against them. And basketball is a tight game, and you know, now we're coming out here in a wrestling match, and I think that, you know, to be quite honest with you, it'll be a tight match tonight with that too. I don't know what the final score will be, but there'll be a lot of very competitive matches between the two.
Well, looking forward to it again tonight, the Rockets and the Cardinals. Short trip for Cochranton, but as you said, Phil, this is going to be a pretty exciting matchup here tonight. And just watching some of the younger kids wrestle, pretty exciting stuff. Good future for both sides.
Yeah, I think that, you know, Cochranton has quite a few more wrestlers in their youth program than I've seen in some previous years. But, you know, Cochranton's been interesting because they always have people that are very competitive at the state level. And, you know, they lack some numbers. And this year it looks like that they're starting to get some of those numbers back. And I think that, you know, like I said, they will have some very competitive athletes out here to go along with Titusville's very competitive athletes.
Captains meeting out on the mat. I'm sure like anything, when you're out there, you want to have that nerve. You want to be nervous about the match.
Well, a little bit of nerves is all right. I mean, you're going to have that, and if you don't have it, then you're not really ready to go.
Well, it looks like both sides are ready to go here tonight again from the launch pad. These two squads have been at it now going back to at least December. We've just begun our winter sports coverage. Lady Rocket basketball the other night, wrestling here tonight. We've got a big boys game Friday night. Kai Skinner looking to break the record for the points record. Looking forward to being here for that basketball game tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be a good basketball game, and hopefully things go the way that the Rockets weigh on that. It's starting out at the 220-pound weight class with Logan Nosko against, and I'm going to say Dalton Boozer is probably who this young man is that he's wrestling.
New look for the Rockets this year.
Yeah, they have a new singlet look. I think it looks pretty sharp. Logan's got him wrapped up in a cradle right here. He needs to just run him right to his butt and then sag back onto his shoulders. Well, he breaks the cradle grip. He just goes back behind him for two. Now Logan's going to try and ride here pretty tough and see what he can do.
You mentioned liking that aggressive start. These guys hit the mat quickly.
It's wrestling's a sport of momentum, and you really want to go out there and take that first match and go after it. Logan settles back in on top and starts to break him down. He's just got a far ankle, pick. He's just driving him forward a little bit. Boozer gets back to his feet. It looks like he's going to get – Logan drops down to a single, takes him out of bounds. He probably ought to go down on the mat with him there. He's going to get himself in a little bit of trouble. He doesn't do that.
Rockets under new leadership this year. Still nice to see Mo Birds walking in to support
Well,
his,
yeah, I mean,
crew.
but it's second year here, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't believe so. I may be wrong. It is, maybe. Oh, there he got an escape. Boozer got an escape here. Logan just needs to stay tough in here. Stay on him, stay on him. Boozer's a little upright. Logan got himself put in a position where he's kind of thrown to his back. He's giving up a takedown. He's giving up back points. He needs to battle here. About 4 seconds left. He battles. He at least doesn't give up the pin. Gives up 3 back. So that makes the score 6-2 at the end of the first period. Noska takes the down position. He really needs to get an escape here.
How much is that his decision and how much of it's the coach's decision?
Well, the coach will tell him more than likely take top bottom, down. But ultimately, whenever a wrestler's on the mat, he may tell the coach, hey, look, I'm not comfortable in the down position against this opponent. And he can make the call. He escaped. He faced the man, but he didn't get the point there. Both people were out of bounds. Boozer from Cochranton, he's got to watch just shoving a guy out of bounds like that. That could be fleeing the mat, which would be a point for Logan without. He's got to get him off his upper shoulder. He's just doing a cross arm pull. Oh, he's trying. He tried to get a little fancy there with a cement mixer. Doesn't have it quite hooked up correctly. But it looks like Boozer's pushing Noska to his back with a half, just driving him over. Logan is trying to face him. He didn't give up any back points. He did a nice job of fighting us off. There he got the escape. He got himself squared up to him and got the escape. So Logan's working to try and get behind him. Here, the Boozer is shot in on a leg. Yeah, there he got spun behind him. He's got 2 points. Right here, he needs to get some back points. It'd be nice if he got back points. Oh, he did a little roll there. He's got locked hands, although he's got it in a position of getting back points. He just did a little barrel roll, and Logan was a little bit high. He squares himself up. He gets 1 point. So after all the points are awarded, the score is 11-6. Now Logan ends up scoring with 6 seconds left, 2 points. I'm not sure. I think I'd have to add up that score in my head to make sure that 11-8 is correct. But Logan did a very nice job of, defending a low leg single there.
Obviously, there's a lot of discussion with protecting kids today in sports. How much has changed since you were heavily involved with wrestling in terms of just making sure things remain safe for the kids?
I think the biggest thing is that and this was starting to come into play whenever I was there, but the weight management systems that they now use are much different than they had been previously. Boozer there just gets an escape. The other thing that everybody has to realize is that all of our students, athletes, go through a pre-test to get a baseline for concussions, and I think that that's very important. If you have someone really hit their head, it's much more apt to have matches are more apt to be stopped quickly to check a kid out. It used to be you just got your bell rung and you keep going.
Right.
And
suck it up and get back out there.
Maybe that, and that philosophy didn't always work well. So And it definitely didn't work out well for the health of the athletes involved.
If I had a quarter every time I heard, suck it up, get back out there.
Yeah. Right now, Boozer's on top of Nosco, really just trying to, work a cradle. Now he's coming back up to that top shoulder and just kind of forcing a crossface across and just kind of making him carry his weight. Nosco's going to have to get busy here. There are about 35 seconds left in the third period. The score is 14 to 8. He can't give up any more points for sure because he beat a major decision stage, but he also needs to face up whenever this guy comes off of his back and kind of come forward. Interesting part about this is this is Dalton Boozer, who's a 220-pounder, and Logan is our 195-pounder, and we don't have a 220-pounder currently.
Wow.
In the lineup. So, a little bit of weight given up there, but, Logan wrestled a good, solid match there. He gave up a 3-point decision with it being 14 to 8. That means that Cochranton will come out of that match ahead 3-0. At heavyweight, we take a forfeit for Caleb Dunlap. Now we are starting at 106. At 106, we have Seth Donovan versus Cade Burns from Cochranton, with the score tied 6-6.
Seems to be a sport, Phil, that there's a lot of respect for good wrestlers. You might get out there and you're challenging them, but at the end of the day, if you're wrestling somebody really good, there's that, hey, I got to wrestle that person.
Right. Well, and there's no doubt that, you want to wrestle the top guys and you want to wrestle kids that are really tough. Here at 113, we have Hunter Thompson against Shane Hobain from Cochranton. Hunter has had a tremendous year here starting off, and Seth Donovan really went out there and made quick work of Cade Burns. Hunter is now he's attacked the single. He's got him in a cradle. He's on his back. He's got it tight. And Hunter Thompson just pinned Hobain, which brings the score to 18 to. And I don't believe that score is correct. I think it's got to be 18 to 3 as a team score. Now we have Chris Wigg wrestling right. Devin Davis.
They just adjusted the score.
They did adjust the score to 18 to 3. Chris is out here against Devin Davis, and they're locked up, and kind of a Chris being a senior, he's getting ready to go out and go after things, and he's really trying to push to continue to get better from year to year.
And Chris is fun to watch out on the mat. It's always interesting to see how these folks warm up, and who takes what they do very seriously. And he's one of those guys who, he gets into the zone before he gets out on the mat.
Sure. Well, everybody has a different way of being in the zone. I've seen kids that have sat in the bleachers all the way until the very last second to be called, and they jump out of the bleachers and go out there and just really are incredible. And then I've seen guys that take an hour to warm up and really get ready. So it's kind of interesting how that everybody has things. At this point, Devin just scored 2 takedown there. Had Chris in kind of an awkward position. He had to relinquish the takedown. He right now is looking to tilt Chris off the top here. Chris is going to have to get that hand control and then go forward. They're all coming to that cross arm ride all the way across the body and just coming up above the bicep up near the shoulder with it. They're just pulling that arm underneath and just really controlling the top position Davis just does a roll-through tilt. I think he's got 2 that's held down. Just kind of a cheap trip, cheap tilt on him, and got 2 back points, and now the score is 4-0. He's looking for another tilt. He's just got the claw locked up in a one-on-one, and he just, kind of. This is a tilt that works very well, but it's very cheap. I mean, you really don't have much there, except for the guy on bottom can't move. You got him trapped in there.
This is one sport, and obviously depending on the gym you're in, but in this particular gym, you're pretty close to the audience. You got parents telling you things. You've got coaches. Is that a distraction?
Most of the time, I think, and I won't say that this is always true. Chris had a nice job. He cradled up Davis, had him on his back, got a 2 count. He lost the cradle. Davis faced him, got an escape, got a 1-point escape. Chris really needs to come back to his feet, clear himself, and then start again. That's going to be all right. That's a restart. He needs to really look at that. Coach is telling him to move and reattack off of that pummel. He needs a pummel inside of that over-under tie. Davis went just to a straight attack on a low leg. Chris needs to do right here is take that ankle and put it right up over his head. Put it up over your head right there. If he puts that ankle up over his head and rolls through, they gave him 2 points on that. That's kind of cheap too, but I won't say. Looks like that you had somewhat of a twist there on a leg there of Chris. It has him in a little bit of pain here.
We'll take a quick injury timeout. This is Titusville Rocket Wrestling on Stream Television and Armstrong.
Since Congress chartered the American Legion in 1919, the Cleo J. Ross Post 368 has been a major part of the Titusville community. The Legion promotes patriotism, honor, and committed devotion to our fellow service members and veterans. We also sponsor various programs such as youth wrestling. We offer scholarship awards and benefit dinners to aid our local community. The American Legion Cleo J. Ross Post 368 is here to make a difference at 113 East Central Avenue, Titusville. Anderson Physical Therapy is committed to your long-term health and well-being. With certified, licensed therapists, Anderson's can provide therapy for all your rehabilitation needs. With our new location in Titusville at 202 Union Street and our new offices at 118 Main Street, Tityute, Anderson makes it convenient for you to get back to doing the things you enjoy. So stay on top of your game with Anderson Physical Therapy. Now in 7 locations and online 24/7 at andersonphysicaltherapy.net.
Call you back. Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there.
What a day.
With car insurance for when things go wrong,
What a day!
but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
This is John Peterson from Warm Home and Hearth in Pleasantville. With 60-degree days and 40-degree nights, we all know what's coming soon. To assist you in your preparation for the cold weather, we have added several new stove lines that will give you the best selection in northwestern Pennsylvania. We feature 50 units to choose from and 21 you can watch burn. Yes, we are the store with more value and choices for you. Come to Warm Home and Hearth in Pleasantville. Pick out your stove, fireplace, or insert today. Yes, we have a fire burning just for you.
And welcome back to the launch pad. 18-9, a break in the action here, and Mr. Wig will exit the match.
Yeah, you have James Titus coming up here against Tyler Martin from Cochranton. And James is a promising-looking freshman. That was a tough loss there for Chris to come out and injury default in that, but it's better sometimes safe than sorry. Until you figure out what's going on. James just did a nice double leg takedown right into a half. That was very nice combination wrestling. And he's trying to settle back a little bit. He needs to settle back and get off his knees there and just kind of pick his head up and take care of business. Get it in tight. And he's got all kinds of time, about 1:22 left in the period to finish it off here.
So what's going through your mind right here, Phil? I mean, is it going back to, okay, the fundamentals, the technique here? This is what we've been, practicing for years.
Yeah, I mean, and this is probably goes back to one of the first moves that you teach a young kid is a nice half Nelson and, bury that half, get it stay chest to chest, arch your back, pick your head up, all those things you're yelling out to the kid to try and get him to be able to pin the opponent. The opponent in this case scenario is fighting it very well now. He just put himself in a horrible position. I mean, he is pinned. He's been pinned. I can't believe we haven't called it right here, but that was, oh my. And as you see, the Cochranton opponent has continued to battle, and he's getting close to the outside edge. And, I mean, all these things, now you're down to 13 seconds. And the only thing that you think about at this point from a wrestler's perspective, squeeze harder, try and get it done. Or I hope I've tired him out enough. And that's going to end up being 5 points, 5-0 lead for James, and that was a good way to start the match. Cochranton has choice. They defer. James takes down.
Is that mentally frustrating?
The only way it'd be mentally frustrating is if you lose this match.
Okay. Well, all that work and
a
couple more seconds, right? That's the thing that's always in your mind, right? Just a couple more seconds, I would have had him.
He had him for 1:22. I mean, you gotta take your hat off to the other guy too, because
absolutely
he fought his way off his back, and that's hard to battle that long off your back.
Yeah, a minute.
Minute 22.
That doesn't seem like a long time till you're out there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a long time until you let someone lay on your chest and squeeze on you and try and make it so you can't breathe. And it's a big deal. Hey, James ended up with an escape here. He stood up. Now he's working. They're both working on their feet. They're just doing a couple head taps. James takes a shot. Kind of a long shot for a high crotch there. His head's the outside. Cochranton wrestler's got his ankle. James need to dump this to the front. Well, either James is going to have to face him or he's going to have to hold on for a stalemate. The Cochranton wrestler's got, he's looking for a cradle. James is looking just to hold on. Oh, they give 2 points to the Cochranton wrestler right there. Getting behind. James gave up the single leg. Probably a good move there because was putting himself in a position where he could be cradled and put to his back, and he doesn't want to do that. Now, you were asking about frustration here. This might be where you're a little frustrated you didn't pin them in the first period. You go through the second period, now the score's 6-2. And, you got to go after things. Now, Cochranton is taken down, which kind of surprises me a little bit. From the neutral position, he just got a takedown. Brought the score to 6-2. And they're going to get caution on top for not having the hand on the belly button. They could have also cautioned him for how he just sagged his weight down on him, and his head was way forward. As he gets further along in the season, he's going to want to watch that. He can't have his head more than center line in the back there. And Cochran has stood up and faced him, so now the score is 6-3. Now it becomes a little more interesting from the perspective of, how was that first period? James got to take his time. He's got to realize he doesn't got to shoot. This other guy's got to shoot. He needs to counter right here. Take him down right here. Don't look for big. Just take him down. James is doing a nice job. If you notice with his hands, he's really blocking well with his hands, keeping the guy a little bit far away. Now he's got to realize this guy's trying to throw, which when he tries to throw, James just steps under and puts him straight to his back again. Now this is where you really want to squeeze. He took out all that energy in the first period. Now he really needs that 6 points. I mean, you're going to he'll be at a major decision after the 3 back. But he really, really wants to get this 6 for the team.
It's kind of the fun of wrestling, isn't it? It's a team sport, but very much an individual sport, too.
Oh, definitely. And I think the one thing about it is and there's a reversal. He needs to get out here quick. He needs a reversal of his own to get that major decision back. And he's going to come out with 11-5 decision, 3-point decision. But it ended up being a pretty good match, In this match, we're going to have Nick Hart at 132 against Brendan Ace. I'd be curious to see who Brendan Ace's dad is. There was a Corey Ace from Franklin who was a state champ probably 20 years ago. Be interesting if that was, if it was his son or not, or if there's any relation there at all.
You want me to go out and ask him?
Yeah, maybe.
Or you want me to
maybe
wait?
after a bit. I'm trying to look in the crowd and see if I can see him if he'd happen to be here, but I don't see him. There goes Nick with a nice takedown. He just did a nice little go behind on a shot. Nick is super tough, really. He just is, in the matches I've watched, he's just got all the ability in the world. He just sometimes doesn't put it all together all at the same time.
You're talking a lot about, we were watching the middle school kids, and you brought up patience out there. When you're out there, what should you be thinking?
Well, I think the one thing is take things that flow to you. Don't try and force stuff. And, if something doesn't work the first second you try it, you can continue to try it. Right here, he's got that cross arm ride that they've been using on us all night, just up above the elbow, driving across them. He's using it to work towards a cross face cradle. He even takes a peek at the clock to see if he has time to do it. And notice how that whenever he tries to force that in there, he's able to counter that and get out of there. Whereas if he'd have just kind of taken his time and not really worried about how much time he had and just locked it up, then he'd had a nice and tight one and, far cradle and had a chance to take him to his back at least. As the period 1 ends, Nick is ahead 2-0 and,
How much of it is the responsibility of the wrestler to keep an eye on the time, or the coach is saying, don't worry about time, you wait till you hear the buzzer?
I'd just soon have someone wrestle a whistle to whistle. But, it's human nature to look up the clock and see how much time you got left if you've been wrestling for a while.
Right.
And,
as we talked about, 20 seconds could feel like a while.
Yeah, 20 seconds could feel like an eternity, but at the same time, you've been wrestling, you've been trying to do things, trying to turn someone, and you look up the clock and you say, holy smokes, we have 5 seconds left. I better try and make something happen right here. And that's a lot of times where mistakes happen because you're just trying too hard. Currently, you got Ace just riding Nick really hard on top. I mean, as far as keeping hand control and really kind of trying to punish him forward with his body weight. Nick is doing a nice job of keeping his hands clear. He keeps trying to clear his hands. There he goes. He got a switch coming, and he got the 2 points right there at the edge of the mat. He just kept working, kept his hands clean, and got out of there. So now he's got 55 seconds left to see what he can do to turn him himself.
21-9 the score right now.
Yeah, it is 21-9, but there have been some entertaining matches. And here Nick is again trying to wrap up this crossface cradle. He's really driving it. Now he's got the leg trapped. Oh, he comes straight in. Knee in the side. Yep. And that finishes that match with a pin with about 32 seconds left in the second period. That was a very nice match, very nice job.
Brings the score to 27-9.
That brings up Hunter Wagner versus Caleb Brown. And Hunter is another, he's a senior this year, and he has really been putting in a lot of time. That was a nice outside single. He started with a high crotch, went back outside to the other side. It was very nicely done. Ends up with a 2-point takedown.
A lot of these athletes, Phil, are multi-sport athletes.
Right.
Overall, I think the majority of the people say that's a good thing. How much time, then, do you need to get yourself mentally prepped for a wrestling season? Let's say if you're playing football or soccer.
Well, I think, with any athlete, and I really don't care what sport you're in, and coaches will tell you want your kids to be competitive all year long. And if they're competitive, and I don't care if it's in football or soccer or whatever else, and they're very competitive, they'll be ready, as soon as they can be physically ready, in shape for wrestling. Wrestling conditioning is different than any other sport, but yet you have a solid base coming from any sport. Cross country and soccer and football all have their own conditioning that they require, and wrestling's no different. And the only way you get into wrestling shape or soccer shape or whatever else is by doing that sport. But I think the competitive edge of just being ready to compete, I don't think it takes long really to get them in that mode. If they're a wrestler by nature, you just want to compete.
And we're talking about high school kids too. They can adapt quickly.
Well, I find that argument about whether you go one sport, two sports, three sports, whatever it might be, interesting, because I think that, whenever you look at college recruiters that come around looking for athletes for different, whatever the sport is, they try and look at them in multiple sports.
Right.
And see what they do. And if they're concentrated on one sport, then, they can't look at them in multiple sports. That's not to say that you can't get a college scholarship, because obviously people do that all the time.
Right.
But, there you go. He did a nice Granby out. Came back. He's got the leg. Now he just got to clear his own leg. Right here. He just needs to stay right there. He should have went maybe right into a Navy. Right there, he needs to probably just take that outside leg. There you go, stalemate.
Cochranton coach doesn't seem too happy by the points awarded to Titus.
Well, he wasn't happy because it ended up he had control, but what he was saying was that Hunter didn't have control whenever he gave control. After the fact, 5 or 10 seconds, he didn't necessarily have control, but prior to that, he did. And he had the kid, in a position where he actually had a kid on his back, and could have been scoring back points as far as I was concerned, but he did not. Right now, he's got him he better get himself. Ooh. Oh, that was dangerous. Anyhow, he had him in a crab ride, trying to throw a half, trying to get him off to one side or the other. The Cochranton wrestler just drove back straight onto him and had him on his back momentarily, where he could have pinned himself in a defensive pin position, which would not have been a thing that he would have wanted to see. Right now, he's just kind of hanging with his leg on top. He's not really able to do much. The Cochranton wrestler is just kind of hanging down, trying to keep himself out of trouble, to be honest with you. Now he throws in double grapes. He throws power half. He is a little high. He just needs to arch his back and grab down at the wrists and pull him out. But the period ends, and the score is 10-0. With Cochranton having choice. Cochranton chooses top. Yeah. What the heck is that all about? Well, Hunter keeps trying to step over. The kid's got his ankle crossed up right here. He's done a Granby roll about 4 times on this kid, and he really could do another one. Hunter right here is being rode out a little bit. Hunter's back up to a tripod. He just needs to clear his leg. Now he scored a reverse. Got about 1:03 left here in the third period. And, the match Hunter's just kind of riding them out. I think the one thing that you watch Titusville wrestle, you can see where that they're very solid on top riding. Now Hunter has decided to just give up the 1 point and go to a neutral position. Probably something he should have or could have done coming off the bottom. He takes a shot now, leaves his arm up there for an underhook, or they blew the whistle. This kid here from Cochranton is trying to get a little bit funky with the throw here. Hunter, if he just slips his arm across, he gets 2 takedown. 20 seconds left in the match. We're going to look and see if we can get a quick cheap tilt here. Yeah, Cochranton wrestler's doing a good job of not giving up the tech fall here. He's just stalling. Hate to tell you that, but you let him go. Hunter let him go. Now he's got to be careful because and Hunter ends up winning the match 14-2, which is a major decision. Okay, we have James Johnson coming out at 145 against Justin Boozer.
31-9 now the team score.
James takes a shot, double leg here. He comes inside. He's got an underhook. He's looking just to throw him by on the other way. That should be a 2-point takedown. Yeah, a smart move by James, just kind of push him out of bounds there off the edge and get a restart on top. Puts big pressure on him. I would not be surprised to see another cradle coming up here. This kid's putting his head down on the mat and just kind of hanging out there. Looks like James is working towards a tilt. He's got it. All he's got to do, elevate, elevate, elevate. There he goes. He's elevating. Sorry, I had to say that once or twice. Got him rolling with it. But
So what you're saying is he needs to elevate.
yeah, he ended up with 3 back points out of that, which was you get up 5-0 on something. Someone here, he's got a cradle now locked up on him. He needs to look at where he's at. Be careful here. There's a half right there. He comes off of a He came off of a wizard, and then he came in and stepped up and had a half. But the Cochranton wrestler did a nice job of battling off of that and getting himself squared up and not allowing James to really finish that half the way it could have been. And this Cochranton wrestler, if you watch how he's keeping his head down, just kind of scooting his knees out there, it looks like he's trying to do some sort of a short sit or a tripod into a score. And basically what he's going to do is grab James's one arm and then try and go up. And James is going to turn him again. If he elevates, he turned him again in a cheap tilt there with that. But if he elevates that, he's going to score 3 more back points. And I don't know what grade this young fellow's in here. I don't know. James is a senior. I don't know what grade the Cochranton wrestler is in. James did a nice job of blocking an outside shot there. Now he reshoots. They come back to their feet. The Cochranton wrestler reshoots in for a single. He's got a single. James goes right straight to a neck wrench. No points, but pretty good combination wrestling right there. And James takes another shot, outside single. He's on his knees. He just kind of stayed there. He needs to get a little more penetration than that. He's doing a good job. Get that head up. Get up and battle. There it is, down like cradle. Oh, this is tight. This is trouble.
Wow.
Yep. And James pins the Cochranton wrestler with 1:13 left in the second period.
It's kind of, I think, part of the excitement of wrestling, isn't it? That 1 second it looks like it's going to go one way, and then the next, I mean, you don't know.
And that's right. 1 second, it seems like it's even, and then next second, boom. Someone ends up on their back. And I think the other excitement part about wrestling is it's 2 people going out there one-on-one and going after each other, This is Josh Jacobson wrestling, and I'm not sure if this is Brandon Richner. I think it's Brandon Richner. Now he's in deep on a single here. If he, the other kid is trying. There you go. He scoops the arm. He should have kept the arm, but he comes out okay. He's in good shape. Comes in for 2 takedown. He's looking for a tilt. He's got it right there if he just take it. He likes it through the legs. That's what's called a ball and chain tilt here, but didn't end up being, it's kind of in in a chain of wrestling where that you get the one-on-one locked up and
Doing a good job keeping them in.
did a nice job of keeping him in. He's actually done a very nice job of staying on top. Now he needs to pick his head up a little bit, get the crown of his head more in the side of the wrestler. He's almost bent himself so that he doesn't have the pressure. You need to almost pull that together like a bow and arrow. If you see what I'm talking, and you drive your hands together. If he would pick his head up just a little bit and use the top part, more the top of the crown of the head, he has a much better shot at getting this locked up than what he is currently doing, because he just doesn't have the pressure.
Right.
The Cochranton wrestler has faced him up. Now there's a short time. He really needs to battle here to make sure that he doesn't give up 2 points on a reversal. Oh, and he's going to get a potentially dangerous on the knee. That's I don't know. 3 seconds. He's got to hold him down here for 3 seconds and then, kind of go forward from there. And obviously the Cochranton wrestler wants to get out in that 3 seconds.
Again, we're at the launch pad tonight for Rocket Wrestling, the Rockets and the Cardinals. 5th day of January already.
It's unbelievable, huh? Oh, Josh did a nice job just moving straight out. Started short set. Oh, he goes right back to that position, trying to go get that near cradle. You'll have to excuse me coughing here. But.
Is that the gift you got for Christmas?
Yeah, it was one of the.
It's the one you gave, I know that.
This is the one I gave out to everybody, I hope. No, I'm just picking. I don't want to give this to anybody. But it seems as though I passed it to my family pretty well.
Now, you're the principal here at the high school. From what we understand, there was a lot of sickness over the Christmas break, so the timing was good. You didn't have a whole lot of kids missing.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it'll come back and catch us. Unfortunately, you put that many students in one area, you're going to get some sickness. And this year seemed to be pretty heavily on this cough that won't go away, and it's been kind of crazy that way. Hopefully we can keep everybody healthy. Josh is doing a nice job of riding. I mean, he's not scoring a ton of points here. He is getting some back points here. Oh, he's got a chance right here to pin him. If he just keeps himself chest on chest, he did a nice job. Now he needs to readjust his weight up on his chest. There you go. He switched over to a headlock. He needs to get that leg out of there. He's going to be rolled through. There you go. You can see he is squeezing with all his might there. And gets the pin with 23.4 seconds left in the second period.
$43-9.
All right, I'm not sure which one this was, if this is Caden Taters or Brooks Boozer. But this is the 160-pound. It's Lucci. DeRose here for Titusville gets a nice takedown right to start things off, and then we'll kind of see where we go from there.
DeRose coming off a very successful football season.
Yeah, he had our whole football team had a very successful football season.
Absolutely.
We played very well. We got in the playoff and didn't quite do what we wanted to do there, but, the football season was exciting and it was a lot of fun for the whole entire town, so it was great. And the kids worked really hard to get to where that they did. And Lucci pins his opponent here with 1 minute, 18 seconds left in the first period. Okay, now I'm going to make a guess that this is Brooks Boozer, and this is Dylan Patterson here for Titusville.
Not to take anything away from Cochranton, they also had a very successful season.
Oh, they had a great season. Then they kind of got hit by the injury bug here after they played us, and lost some pretty key components of their team. And they were very solid, very tough team. That may have been one of the most fun games to watch this year for us. Down at the end, a little bit of a heart-wrenching, but it was a great game to watch.
Well, it's rare that you have one of those in the season, and we had 3.
No, we definitely had 3, and we did, it was definitely a lot of fun to watch the kids really, have some success after several years where we didn't see a lot of success.
Yeah.
There, that was a nice shot by Dylan.
A lot of
Right there, a reshot. Oh,
good, solid, dedicated coaches on both sides for the Rockets and the Cardinals.
Oh, there's no doubt there's been people that have been wrestling for a long time on both sides. Back when I was coaching, the coach here at Cochranton has been here, and a lot of the people that are on his staff were there also. They're very solid. And you look at Titusville side, and the same can be said for Titusville. How long have some of these coaches been involved in the program and continue to be involved in the program, and that dedication shows with a lot of success coming out on the mat. Look like Dylan, something. I don't know exactly what happened there.
Quick timeout, 49-9. This is Rocket Wrestling on Stream Television and Armstrong. We'll be right back.
Big G Tire and Auto on the Hightown Road in Titusville is your home to the largest selection of tires for small compact cars to large semis. Need an oil change, inspection, or repair? Big G can service your vehicle while it's in the shop. Protect your vehicle with our fluid film undercoating to keep the rust at bay. Big G will keep you on the road.
Tires for any size vehicle and auto repair. Come see us at Big G Tire and Auto on Hightown Road in Titusville.
It takes a lot for a community to be successful. Hard work, sacrifice, and the ability to take risks and go beyond your reach. This is nothing new for the residents here in small town USA, and it's certainly not new to the hundreds of student athletes who give their all on every level of play. From beginners to varsity to college and beyond, know that the Colonial Machine Company in Pleasantville is right behind you, supporting you all the way. Best of luck on the field and in life. The Colonial Machine Company.
And we are back at the launch pad.
Right there, coach just saved him from losing a point there. If you pull down your singlet before you get off the mat, you lose a team point. That was a second injury default. Hopefully that's not one of those things there. You got Parker Harvey coming out here. Okay, so we got Parker Harvey and Blake Miller.
49-15.
I'm going to say that this is a 195 match, even though Parker weighs 182. I think they probably made somewhat of an agreement to wrestle these two guys at 195 so they get competition. And right there, we kind of called one there. Whenever you keep your toes in bounds and you can keep up off your knees, it'll get you 2. I don't know if we were up off our knees there or not, but
we'll take it.
We'll take the 2 points there for Parker, and we have a caution here on Parker for being a little too high on the elbow there.
Parker, another example of somebody who did well in the fall. And, you know, from our standpoint, it's really exciting to follow these kids from one sport to the next. It's incredible because one moment you're in the midst of a fall sporting event, then winter sports, you blink and it's, you know, springtime and you're doing baseball or softball.
Yeah, well, and it'll be interesting to see, I think, as you kind of go forward, you know, and we don't want fall sports to be over with too quickly. You know, obviously, I'd just soon see us, you know, get through the entire fall season. Hopefully we get some athletes down to the state tournaments and, you know, into playoffs, if not to the state tournaments.
Is that why when you see somebody that has a slight injury here, you want to get them off, unless they can get back out there? But is there some precautionary measures there?
Definitely precautionary measures. I mean, when a match is in hand and the points really aren't going to matter for the outcome of the match, you know, you have one match left and you're up by whatever. The most they can score with one match is 6 points.
Right.
So there's no sense in really, you know, there's no sense in really pushing someone that could be injured, you know, beyond that. Okay, so we got 2 back points and 1 escape, so the score is now 6-2. Parker, you know, he needs to be just heavy on the head here, get off his knees right here, and unless he's going to take a reshot right there. They probably should have bounced that. Okay, maybe we didn't get back points here. I don't know. They took away 2 back points.
Maybe some confusion over at the scores table.
Well, you know, initially what was put up on the scoreboard was there's 2 back points awarded. What the official, I heard him tell the table was, I didn't award 2 back points, only the 2 reversal. So which makes it 4-2 without the 2 back points being awarded on a tilt, which I thought he had awarded the 2 back points myself, but and if he didn't, you know, he very easily could have, but at the same token, he may not have because he didn't feel like he maintained control for over 2 seconds. But Parker's standing up. He comes for a Granby. Ooh, he needs to clear that arm a little bit more there. And the guy just kind of stood on it. He's got big, strong shoulders, this kid here. Cochranton, he's definitely a solid young man, much like Parker is. So Parker's got to continue to work up to his knees. He needs to work up to his feet. His hips are clear. With his hips being clear like that, he really needs to get himself right up in the air. He needs to get those hips up.
Still a lot of time left.
No, a lot of time left. I mean, that's why, you know, those 2 points are pretty big, really. 1 tilt brings them back to even or above. And Parker is right now in a bad position because he's got an arm bar deep. When you turn him, now Parker's coming out on top. He needs to keep coming. And I think they gave him 3 back points or 2 back points. Had to be 2.
Yeah, I think it was 4-2.
Okay, he needs to turn it. Oh, he was going to score right there, maybe. You need to come up. You need to keep that up in the air and just pump that leg up, punch that knee up over top of his head, maybe. That's 2 at the buzzer.
Wow.
That was close. They're going to question whether he had control. Yeah, that's what I thought. He gave him 3 back point. Yeah, I catch things pretty well sometimes. Now, to be honest with you, you could take any strategy you want to take right here, but I'd probably just cut this kid and take him back down. Parker's done a nice job on his feet against him. Yeah, that's not a bad move. Now he's only up by 1, so he's got to be careful here a little bit. And he's got to take his shots. Now, this is a nice thing about Cochranton, though, is they're going to match kids up and go. I mean, they're not going to look for matches that, to take forfeits. They're going to look for matches where they can wrestle. And this is
it's probably more of a benefit for the kids too, right?
It's a huge benefit for the kids, and for everybody. Now, it may be disappointing; they may lose a match, but the bottom line is you got to get mat time before you get better. Oh, there, roll. That just tells you how strong Parker is too. Both these kids are very solid young men as far as strength-wise goes. They're very strong.
Probably easier for a coach to see how your wrestlers performing, to be able to say to them in practice, okay, this is what we need to work on. You don't get that if you try to sandbag it.
Yeah, I always used to keep a notebook beside me, or have someone with a notebook beside me whenever I was coaching, and write down things. And then I'd tell them, I'd say, hey, such and such, we need to work on this, and this, and I had pages for each kid, and we'd write it down as we went. And it truly helped to develop kids to be better by the end of the year, and that's what you really want to do, is have them, end up being at the top of their game at the beginning of the year.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. He's lucky. You got to be careful he doesn't get thrown. Oh, see, that's not stalling. I will say this, they give Parker there a stall call. That was a smart stalling if he was stalling on purpose, because he's up by 2 points. He doesn't want to put himself in trouble. And you have 9 seconds left in the match.
And the Rockets win tonight, 52-15. A quick timeout. We'll come right back and wrap things up here from the launch pad. Rocket Wrestling on Stream Television and Armstrong.
Wow, what a cruise this year at Joe Taylor Ford.
Go see Joe!
Thanks to everyone who came out and displayed their awesome cars.
Go see Joe!
The food was great, but the deals are even better this month at Joe Taylor Ford. Check out a new 2016 Ford F-150 XLT 4x4 Super Cab at 0% APR for 72 months, or get up to $10,593 off MSRP in total savings.
Go see Joe!
Route 257 in Seneca.
Meadville Medical Center and Titusville Area Hospital are now one, providing healthcare focused on you. High quality, close to home, affordable care, and compassion for our patients. Surgical excellence and innovative procedures. Your health, your community, care you trust. Meadville Medical Center and Titusville Area Hospital.
Oil Creek Plastics, the industry leader in polyethylene pipe, is proud to be a part of the Titusville community and a proud sponsor of Titusville High School athletics. Located off Route 27 in East Titusville, Oil Creek Plastics has been a vested part of the Titusville community for 28 years. At Oil Creek Plastics, we take pride in supporting our community and are thrilled to bring instant and slow motion replay to the Stream's Titusville Rocket sports broadcasts. In Titusville and here to stay, Oil Creek Plastics. Best of luck to the Titusville Rockets.
No one plans on breaking down or getting stuck, but you can plan on Shambaugh Towing to be there to help you out. Since 2010, Shambaugh has been serving Northwest PA with quality roadside assistance services in auto and truck repairs. No job is too small or too big for Shambaugh. So for heavy towing, emergency roadside service, flatbed services, jump start, lockouts, tire changes, and more, there's only one place to call when your life's in shambles. Call Shambaugh 814-827-1431 or visit them online at shambauhtowing.com.
Final here from the launch pad, 52-15. Luke Rio, Phil Knapp, and an exciting matchup here. Despite the score, Phil, a lot of good matches here tonight.
Yeah, I think you had a lot of matchups. And it was a little bit like I kind of thought it might be, where that you have several very guys that are ready to go out and go after it from both teams, and I think that showed out on the match. And it's always fun kind of wrestling or watching matches like this because kids are going at it and they're going after each other.
Again, I'm always amazed at the mutual respect that the teams have for each other in wrestling. Again, during the match, it's one thing, you're competing, but afterwards, I think there's a lot of respect there. So
well, and it's interesting because, it's just like watching a great football player play or whatever else. If you know someone's a great wrestler and they're getting ready to wrestle, you want to be out there to wrestle. That's the big thing. You want to be out there to watch them wrestle. And
The other thing I see here, a lot of youth involved, a lot of youth watching, participating. It lets you know that there's a future here for the sport.
There's definitely a future. And I mean, it's, in Pennsylvania, it's one of the biggest sports that there is, as far as that goes. But it does take a certain type of dedication, and it does take a certain type of individual to do it. And it's not for everybody, and that's for sure.
Well, looking forward to getting back here to covering a few more Rocket matches this season. Phil, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Great to see you. Hopefully we'll have you back.
Well, anytime.
We've got Rocket basketball. We have Pitt basketball. A whole lot coming your way, so keep it tuned right here, and we'll let you know what's happening with our winter sports coverage. This has been Titusville Rocket Wrestling on Stream Television and Armstrong.